On this episode of PortFolio, protecting our nation's ports calls for special training. That's what the Maritime Law Enforcement Training Center is all about. We'll get an exclusive inside look. Kids at the Port of LA discovers what it takes to be on the Port of LA's dive team. And the port pays tribute to the veterans of World War II, 70 years after D-Day.
Hi, welcome to PortFolio. I'm Andrew Tarr.
The Maritime Law Enforcement Training Center, MLETC, is the first such center in the nation, staffed and operated by local law enforcement agencies to train military and law enforcement personnel in the basics and tactics of maritime law enforcement. The Port of Los Angeles processes billions of dollars in cargo each year. It's responsible for millions of jobs nationwide, 1 million in California alone. Its economic impact is huge, so keeping the port safe is a top priority. The Port of LA is the perfect home for the Maritime Law Enforcement Training Center. The MLETC is a partnership of local, state, and federal agencies that provides basic through advanced training in maritime law enforcement. Classroom training, combined with time aboard the MLETC's training vessels, gives officers that may never have taken to the sea an understanding of the theory and practice of protecting our nation's ports.
We are able to teach the men and women that are involved in this business in a variety of curriculums, starting with a basic maritime course that teaches a person who has no experience or minimal experience in this field and brings them up to operating competencies. In addition to that, the training center also is able to deliver courses that are advanced tactical courses, and one specifically, the anti-terrorism boat operators course.
MLETC training isn't just about protecting assets, it's about working together with agencies at all levels of law enforcement, on both domestic and international levels. It provides an unprecedented level of training to law enforcement officers, first responders, and military personnel responsible for safety and security in the maritime environment. The MLETC is the only facility in the country that strictly focuses on this specialized training.
Every agency has particular specialties, and to do the job properly, we need all of these agencies to work together. And this is a place where those agencies can come together and all train so that we're all on the same page.
Instructors at the MLETC come from the Los Angeles Port Police, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Los Angeles Police Department, Long Beach Police Department, San Diego Harbor Police, and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. The FLETC trains and certifies the MLETC instructors.
The basic class here at the MLETC is a 2-week class that addresses the needs of a person that is not that experienced in the world of maritime law enforcement. This class takes the person through a variety of courses, from basic boat handling, basic navigational skills, how to read and understand radar, how to operate on the water both during the day and at night. And the course also involves basic tactical skills that a law enforcement officer or agent might need doing his or her job. The people that come to the MLETC are sworn officers, whether sworn as peace officers in the state of California or in other states within our country that come to train here, as well as federal officers and agents. In this particular class, we have officers from the Los Angeles Police Department, the Los Angeles Port Police, the Long Beach Police Department, and from the San Diego Harbor Police, and on the federal side, from the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office of Homeland Security Investigation. And then we are also very pleased to have the Taiwanese National Police training here.
This week, the MLETC is offering the Anti-Terrorism Boat Operators course, designed to teach advanced skills to law enforcement officers who may be called upon to use anti-terrorism tactics to protect and secure their port or area of operation.
More tactical driving and understanding security zones, both moving and fixed, how to protect high-value assets.
In this exercise, we're aboard a high-value asset or VIP ship, a role played by the Port Police dive boat, which must be protected from dangerous intruders by a coordinated group of Port Police boats. The intruder boat, the Zodiac, acts as the adversary and attempts to penetrate the security zone and move in close to the VIP ship.
The vessels that are protecting us en route to Seal Beach area are to keep any threats from coming in to a 500-yard radius.
The opposition boats will approach from different angles, and there's different tactics involved in how to keep those boats away from the high-value assets.
The instructors on the adversary boat will enter or attempt to enter the security zone and attack the high-valued asset in a variety of ways, means, high speed, low speed, any type of tactics that they might employ to confuse the student. So the student really has to be on their toes and ready to address whatever problem is given to them by the instructor.
Communications is a key factor. You need to be talking to your other boats. It is a little more difficult because you have 360 degrees that need to be covered.
Some of the vessels will intervene. If one has to go out of its zone, then the next vessel behind it or closest to it will take over that security area that they're in charge of. They'll get on the PA and do a loud hail and warn them. It's a verbal warning first, and then the next steps after that are either getting their vessels super close and kind of herding them off and kind of like a threat, getting their vessels in the way in between mine and the threat vessel. And then the final one would be either warning shots or shooting.
Working with the local law enforcement, getting to know who they are and also knowing what they're capable of. So if we ever have to ask for their help and everything, we know what they're going to do is immeasurable in the value.
Our officers have to maintain a high level of vigilance when it comes to protecting the critical infrastructure of the port because of the economic impact that a shutdown of the port can have, not only within our local community, within the state, but how it can affect the rest of the nation and, quite frankly, the world.
Many officers training at the MLETC have never taken the helm of a high-powered police boat. I asked Port Police Officer and MLETC instructor Mark Palyuka about the challenges landlubbers like me face after climbing aboard and taking to the sea.
So if this is my first time in a boat like this, and it actually happens to be my first time in a boat like this, where do you start in teaching the new students how to drive a boat?
In our basic class, one of the first days, we bring the students down to the boat.
Yep.
And we just pretty much walk through it from bow to stern, show them what's in the hatches, the equipment on the boat,
Yep.
where the equipment goes, how the equipment's used, how to turn the boat on, how to
Yep.
turn the boat off, some general maintenance tips,
Right.
just for a first time.
I would imagine the first time the students get on this boat, they probably really want to hot dog it to see what a boat like this can do. Is that a challenge in and of itself?
The boat looks fast, looks tough. Generally, they want to get on, punch it, full throttle, get some speed going. but we try to slow them down at first and teach them the small maneuvers, the little slow stuff. We like to use the phrase slow is pro. You know, the most challenging part of the class is for an officer who hasn't operated a boat before. Coming down on the boat and getting used to using a wheel, throttles, a vessel, no brakes, being able to use hand-eye coordination when moving the boat from point A to point B. First driving test starts on our basic class would be the second day. And they'll just go to some locations, some docks, and they'll just start doing some general docking.
One of the toughest parts for me in driver ed when I was learning how to drive a car was the parking part.
Exactly.
Okay.
So come to your left.
And
left.
Hard left.
Right there. That's good. Straighten your back out.
Oh wow. This is way different from parking a car. And I feel like I need to come back. Oh, that's neutral.
All right, let's hold it right here. Come hard left. Now, bump forward. Neutral. There you go. Now come hard right. Bump it in reverse. Neutral. There you go. Perfect. Bam.
I did it. I'm a natural, huh? You're a much better teacher than my driver ed instructor was.
See, not that bad?
Yeah.
Not that bad, right?
Yeah. I did it. In Kids at the Port of LA, our youngest reporters explore careers at the port. Today's topic, of course, law enforcement.
Port of Los Angeles security doesn't just mean onshore and offshore, it means underwater too. Officer Philip Heem is a member of the Los Angeles Port Police dive team.
Who are the Port Police?
Well, the Port Police, we're one of the few agencies dedicated specifically to the maritime law enforcement. So the port, everything that you guys play with and touch and see and do, chances are it came right here through the port. So this is a big gateway for the rest of the nation. We deal heavily with the shipping industry. So really we're protecting the nation. It's not just protecting a small city or just the community, which we do that as well, but really it's more globally, and that's the way we look at it. It's global maritime security. That's what we do.
What does a police dive team do?
Yeah, we're actually one of the few agencies in the country that have a full-time dive team, strictly assigned just to dive operations, underwater operations. So we could be doing anything from diving, searching for anomalies that aren't supposed to be underwater, something that's on the bottom that could be a threat to the port, checking critical infrastructure, or we could be dragging sonar, searching for something that's either lost or hidden, or maybe somebody throws something into the ocean. We'll go find it with sonar operations. So we find anything from tires that fell off tugboats to maybe scrap metal from the local scrap metal yards. We can find weapons that they're thrown in there. We've got called up to the La Brea tar pits at one point to assist LAPD to find a weapon that was thrown there. So anything that can be thrown in the water, we'll go searching for it.
When did you decide to be a diver?
I got trained after being here. I wasn't a diver previously. We have some officers that were divers, very highly trained officers that are on the unit. But they trained me up once I came to the unit, and I guess more than anything, it's just something that after the first time doing it, it scared me. You know, my first time, we do hull searches on the cruise ships. So my first time being under a cruise ship, you know, your breathing's heavy, you're almost panicking down there a little bit, but like I said, you can talk to your dive partners down under there, so they help calm you down at first. But I remember coming out the other end of the cruise ship, and the only thing I wanted to do was do it again.
How can I become a diver?
Well, the biggest thing, I mean, you got to start as an officer first. So the best thing you can do there is keep your nose clean, stay out of trouble, keep your grades good, have good recommendations coming out. Don't put yourself into a situation that's going to eliminate you from even trying out to become a police officer. So that'd be a first step. Keep your record clean. Second step is just start applying. It is hard to get into. I think when I was going through the academy, they called us 1%ers because only 1% actually make it through. Rather be, you know, you're limited for your background, you know, testing phase. A lot of people don't make it through the academy. So So just staying sharp there, and then once you get into a police officer field, once you become a cop, work hard in the field, and then eventually you'll work your way into a specialized unit. And if this is the goal, you try out for it and work your way in.
What do you like most about your job?
I love the most is every day I come to work is going to be something new. I'm not in an office. I can't work an office type job. I need to be on the move. I need to be outside. I need to be doing something. Police work is a lot about the community and helping people. So if you like to interact with people and really help people out, get them where they need to be, point them in the right direction, both literally and in life, then it's a great job to have.
I'm Noel Martinez for K-Pola Kids at the Port of Los Angeles.
From downtown harbor, we'll head to Berth 49, home of the SS Lane Victory, where Angelinos gathered recently to pay tribute to veterans of World War II on the 70th anniversary of D-Day. On this occasion, 9 veterans received the French Legion of Honor from the Consul General of France for their heroic contributions to the cause of freedom.
Today is a day to remember. A day to remember that freedom is a gift that does not come for free. It requires determination and sacrifices. It is a day to remember that on June 6, 1944, thousands of young soldiers, showed the utmost resolve when it came to liberating France. The French will never forget. We will never forget your courage and dedication, which is an example to us all. We will never forget that you are the example of the greatest generation, which faced despair and deprivation during the Great Depression, which went on to fight for liberty and freedom during the war, which rebuilt Europe and Japan and invented a freer, more democratic and more just world after the war.
Au nom du président de la République française et en vertu des pouvoirs qui nous sont conférés, nous vous faisons chevalier dans l'ordre de la Légion d'honneur.
I'd like to see wars ended. Wars are terrible, you know. If you, like all the guys I remember that were killed, the families everywhere in the country love them, and I'm going to cheer it. Can't avoid it.
Democracy is not a given, and we must remember what our fathers did so that we can build a better world for the future. And that's one of the lessons of the Second World War and of Normandy.
Gee, just think I was 20 years old then. I'm 90 now.
On behalf of all of us at PortFolio and the Port of LA, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.